Today's conversation is a hot topic that a lot of people have been asking about. Many people experience at some point in their lives where they're not able to make all of their bill payments and it negatively affects their credit. Today's discussion is repairing bad credit. And I have invited Sandra Parsons, who is a branch manager at Fairway Independent Mortgage, to speak on the topic. She's a graduate of UT's Business School, and she is going to share her knowledge. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for joining me. Our topic today is one that a lot of people are thinking about this time of year because it's a good season for shopping for homes, and you have to have good credit to get financing. So what is a good credit score, and where does this come into play in financing?
Well, the credit score is very important when it comes to financing. If it is too low, there's not a way to overcome that. The score does have to be at a minimum level. Now, a good credit score is an opinion, just like an appraisal is an opinion of value. A good credit score is. I see credit scores that work from 580 all the way up to in the 800s. A good credit score to get the best interest rate is usually what most people want to know, and that's usually going to be over a 740 to put you in that top bucket to get the best interest rate. But a good score could be anywhere from the 580 up into the 800s, honestly, to make a loan work.
Now, one of the commercials that we often see is about this. I won't even say the name of the company, but they talk about checking the credit score being a bad thing and that in itself affects your credit score. Can someone check their credit score without it affecting them negatively?
They can. There are a lot of ways that you can see your scores. Unfortunately, some of those sources are not evaluating you for credit. So you'll see a consumer score rather than what we would see when we actually pull all three credit bureaus to evaluate you for a mortgage. You can see your credit score on sometimes your credit card apps or your credit card statements. They'll show you your score. You can look your scores up on freeannualcreditreport.com. You can get a free copy there, but you don't want to be actually pulling your credit because that will pull your scores down.
What gets reported to the credit agencies?
Credit cards are reported, installment loans such as auto loans. Some people also obtain note loans, mortgages. Things that don't really report are your cell phone bill, your car insurance, your rent, different things like that. In general, do not report to credit, but collection or derogatory items do. Student loans do report, and they do report if they're derogatory. Medical collections report, and that's the thing that I see most often that tanks someone's score is a $50 medical collection, which could affect a score up to 100 points. Something else that does report is child support, typically. It is on there, whether it's a derogatory item or a currently item that you're paying.
When you and I were first talking about this topic, you really intrigued me when you said that there were some common misconceptions that people had about repairing their credit.
Yes. What I run into most often, if someone has had some credit bumps, they're embarrassed. They don't want people to look at their credit. And so they go on a mission to try to fix it themselves. And what they typically try to do is address the items that are already on credit, such as the medical collection. And I would never tell someone not to pay those, but what I would say is it will not really help your credit in general. What we need to do is build new credit that overlaps the derogatory credit. So paying off all the things on credit sometimes can actually hurt you because when they update a derogatory item, it actually can bring your score further down. So what we want to do is open new accounts that show a good payment history that will overlap the old credit.
If you were to give the top 3 things that someone should do when they're first trying to repair their credit, what would those be?
If you do have credit cards that have balances greater than 30% of the credit limit, I would pay those down. That is the number one easiest way to improve your credit score quickly. Opening a credit card also is a great idea. Opening the credit card, even if it's a secured card that you have to put the cash up for, make sure that you do not charge over 30% of the credit limit. Something that most people do not know. They think, well, I charge my credit card all the way up, but I pay it off every month. Isn't that great? No, because what happens is the amount that goes on your statement goes on the credit report. So even if you pay your card off every month, no one ever sees that, and you're not evaluated that way unless you've paid it prior to statement date.
If someone has no credit, what first steps should they take?
opening a secured loan at a local bank or credit union where you put money into savings and you actually borrow against your own money. It is difficult to get the credit. When you have no credit, it becomes a catch-22. So those secured items will get you started, and usually after about 6 months of having one of those share secured loans, savings secured loans, it will start generating something on the credit bureau, and then that people will be willing to give you credit cards and things like that. Now, when it comes to mortgages, we have a way of using non-traditional credit and adding that to your credit to make an acceptable credit report. That would be rental history that's verified through apartment complex or a landlord that's not a private landlord, or via cleared checks. It can't be cash. We can also add your auto insurance, your cell phone bill, utilities. We can add those to your credit bureau, but they do have to be in your own name.
Thank you, Sandra, for sharing the wealth of information with us on how to repair credit. And if anyone is in the process of trying to repair their credit in preparation for buying a home, call Sandra. I'm sure she can get you started, give you some great tips. Right, Sandra?
Yes, I would love to help you with that.